Test, test. All right. All right, people coming in. Ahoy, everyone. How are we doing today? Life. It's midterms. You're all stressed out. Ah, not after Panda. Touché. So I want to just say a quick thank you to Stefani, and make sure you know who she is as well. Stefani's over here. She's the one helping to run the Discord questions. We appreciate all the questions. We've hoped to help to answer them. But if you ever need any help, remember, between now and when you submit your video, we're here for you. So you can walk in, you can try to go through the process of booking an appointment through campus groups. We have our different consultants that you can meet with, including myself. And so if you have questions, Steph can help to make sure you're pointing in the right direction. And we treat this thing like a startup. So we have our own business model canvas, and you are our customers, and we have channels to get in front of you, and we try to keep our relationships with Panda, and we have key partnerships. We have key activities. We have key resources, and it doesn't cost you anything, and we don't make any money, but that evens out, and there's still benefit coming out of this big machine. So round of applause for Steph for being our business model canvas. Any thoughts or words? Because she's going to bail out. And Steph, if I have a video version, she just was bailing, that's fine. Or wait, maybe something went wrong. If you have a version of your video, you could like meet with someone and be like, what do you think of the video? Does this make sense? No. Oh, I didn't even recognize that. Let me go back, let me fix it. Let me come back over here. What do you think of this video now, right? Like a shot in the dark that you just have one shot to have it uploaded. This is a chance for you to practice the process of starting a business, which means through logical things that you have to do, working through the business model canvas. How many people feel like they have just a grasp of the business model canvas? Okay, in Discord, there's a YouTube video, playlist. I made 9 videos, on average about 5 minutes. And if you just spend 30 minutes watching those, you'll get a good idea. In order to have a good pitch to any type of business, you have to really understand parts of the business. You have to understand the value proposition that you're providing, which is the problem that you're solving. You have to understand who your customers are. You have to think about how you're going to get in touch with them through channels. You're then going to have to keep a relationship with them. Then you're going to actually figure out how much you're going to have to charge them. Then, all the behind the stuff scene, you have to know what your key activities are. Are you coding? Key resources, do you need to have the code? Partnerships, because you can't do it alone. How many people here are with, is your idea in the track for student experience? Raise your hand. Okay? Think of the partners on campus that you can connect with to create partnerships. How about storytelling? Any storytelling? Okay? Hit up BAI and Stewart and connect with them and see if maybe there's a partner that they can help you out with. Maybe they can connect you with somebody at Disney or Pixar or some big firm or something. How many people are in the medical? All right. So it's important that you understand how the business. You work with chalk. So again, the very final little bucket is how much it costs you, and you have a good guess at that. So today we're going to talk about presenting, and we'll also talk a little bit about video production, but not as much, because I want to make sure that you can have the best video in the world, but if you can't explain what you're trying to explain within the video, it doesn't matter. It's like we can talk all about production, but the real substance, the meat and potatoes behind your video is going to be the story you're telling, how believable you are, your ability to convince a technology or medical idea to somebody who might not be in technical medical. And really, at the crux, I can tell you for a fact that you can have the best idea in the world. But if you cannot articulate it in a short amount of time, in a compelling way, it simply no longer becomes the best idea. And if you're passionate about your idea, we oftentimes forget the importance on how you present your idea. And so today we are going to have a lot of fun while we learn some fundamental concepts. But these concepts, they are going to last you not only in this pitch competition, but it's going to help you convince a friend to watch the movie that you want to watch. It's going to convince your parents to go to the dinner place that you really want. It's going to be your ability to make friends. It's going to be your ability, let's see, and show, presenter view. Your ability to communicate, storytell, and pitch is your ability to form relationships, to form partnerships, to form strategic alliances, to form lifelong friends. And so I want you to just think about, there's business, there's pitching, but there's the skill of communicating ideas in a way that influence people. Now I want to take a pulse on the room right now, and you're just going to say this out loud. So it's a safe room, just keeping track. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you're probably not even going to answer the question. You're 0, you're silent. And that you're so unprepared you could not pitch if even you were forced to. On the other side, 10, you'd be up here giving this presentation, and I know some of you can't. So think of the number, say it out loud and proud on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
4, 6, 7.
We're like 4, 6, 7. 4, 6, 7. 4, 7, 6, 7, like right around there, okay? This is that I'm going to ask you the same question, and I want you to legitimately see how much more confidence you have. All right, my name is Ryan. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm a very proud ginger. I'm also the director here at the ANTrepreneur Center. Do we have any gingers in the house? This is a little bit like my middle school. I was the only one. And I got made fun of and beat up and bullied out to another school. And then they're like, hey, it's another ginger, let's get him. And then I got bullied back to the other school. It was a miserable existence, but I recognized, after taking martial arts, karate, and like that solved the communication problem, really, at the end of the day. But the important thing here is that what people make fun of you for is what your superpower really is. It's what makes you different. And so we grow up thinking, oh, we need to be like this because that's what it should be. Like, I'm not like that. Well, guess what? If you're not like that and you own it, then that's what other people are going to be like, well, I was this. So it's just all a cycle of people who are unique and that, that is you. So we've all been made fun of. That's your superpower. And by the way, everybody is an honorary ginger today. So, all right? All right. My story, because I think it's important, because everything is a story. Here I am as a little kid, bullied as a kid, and I spent more time in the ocean and water. I still love it today, but solved it. Played hockey for 15 years. I love skateboarding still to this day. I went to college thinking that, I didn't know what I was going to study. I ended up with 2 majors, theater and business economics. It was not on my radar, and I ended up somewhere in between because I'm fascinated with the presentation of business and the theater of business. And I went to, but nobody thought I was the right match. I lost all of my savings. I had internships. The Hollywood thing didn't work out. So I went with a buddy who was selling mortgages, and I learned how to sell. And I sold all kinds of mortgages, and I made more money than I know what to do with. And I bought all kinds of fun stuff, house, Rimini red rims named Rachel Rover, and stupid stuff. And then 2008 happened. Lost it all, crashed to the bottom, up, down, crazy. Ended up at UCI. I speak about my experiences, and this is like what this is. Now, some people look at me and they go, wow, Ryan, you have a lot of experience. And some people look at me and they look me up online and they go, wow, you are an expert. People are expert. But my question, what's the difference? And not what's the difference, but what do you think is more important for you, for this competition, for everything that's happening? Do you think that your experience is more important, or do you think your expertise is? Who thinks that your experience is the most important thing? How many people think that expertise is the most important thing? You guys are wrong. And here's the thing, and this all will really come together, because experience is actually what you get when things go wrong. And when things go wrong, that's when you learn, and that's when you get experience. And the funny thing about experience is you only get it after you need it. If I only would have known that, right? So what's important is that your experience is full of all these little stories that have happened. And they're not all good. Some stories are terrible. And sometimes those are the most that shape us. But at the end of the day, when things go wrong, there's experience that happens. If you can share a story around it, it highlights your skills, it highlights something. And storytelling is your greatest asset. And that's when you own your own story. And so today, part of your pitch is going to be what drew you to this idea. There's some thread, some part of your story that this is important to you, and that's part of it. I wrote a book called Ditch the Act, and it gets into how the best thing you can do is just be yourself. And I think that when it comes to communication, sometimes we lock up and we try to not communicate. But not communicating is still communicating that you're not communicating. Pitching, what we're talking about, is an art form. And influence is an art form. And at the end of the day, what you're trying to do with this pitch, with this 5-minute video, is the judges to think that this is believable. So think of a word to finish a sentence. Influence is, somebody might say power, somebody might say dangerous, somebody might say XYZ. Think of the word to finish the sentence. Everybody say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, say the word 3. Okay, influence is power, it's this, it's that, it's muscles, I'm eating my food, it's all kinds of stuff. But all of those things are correct because influence takes on all these different forms. But there's 2 pieces of influence that you have to have in order to win this video pitch. You have to fundamentally change the way people think, and you have to give them a chance to take action. Fundamentally change the way people think and get them to take action. This is influence. Now I want to share with you how this feels sometimes. Cross your arms. You're already crossing your arms. You're fine. Cross your arms. It's just like this. All right? Now cross your arms the other way. If you're confused, if I am, go back to normal. And then cross your arms the other way. If that feels extremely like you're like, I don't know how to cross my arms. It's very awkward. This little hand's like, what are we doing? I'm not supposed to be. Go back to like, now normal. I feel like this is my spot. I bet that's the way you always do it, right? So if you always do things the way you've always done it, it's going to feel comfortable. I'm going to teach you today something that will fundamentally make you fold your arms the other way, and it's going to feel really comfortable. And you're going to be like, this does not feel comfortable. But I'm telling you, if you understand and you continue and you practice and you try this type of an approach, you will get more comfortable and you will be more convincing and you will have more influence and your video will have a better chance of getting to the next round. And remember, past the video, then you have a live presentation. So pitching is not just for the video. It is in the conversations that you have. It happens all the time. And the thing is that people will ask you what you do, but that's actually the wrong question. People don't really care what you do. What happens, like, what do you do? And they go, well, I've got the startup company and all this stuff. And the person's like, I hope that he's going to ask me what I do when he's done with this. Oh, yeah, I'm paying attention, pretending. Oh, and yeah, so glad he asked. I'm in this innovation challenge process, and I have this thing that's coming in. The other person's like, was he even paying attention to me? And hey, good to meet you. Cool, good luck, later. Like, that's it. And so, hey, fundamentally, the video, the prompt that you are going to do is just met on the street. So what do you do? When I ask you what you do you babble like a rambling fool? Do you talk so fast that you're blue in the face is your big idea? Say the same thing every time? Do you bore investors out of their mind? You might even do it and you might not even know it. Your startup has started, all you want to do is grow it. And every time you open up your mouth, you blow it, and you wish there was a method or a way you could control it. Have no fear, because the 313 is here. It will make your message clear. First you state the problem. Then you say you solve it. And don't forget the market. Word. Next time somebody raps, you can always throw a beat down. You don't have to be awkward, but I know how it is. I'm going to teach you how to keep things simple. And by keeping them simple, I'm going to help you to understand how to make them powerful. But simple does not mean easy. In fact, it is more difficult to make things simple than it is to make things complex. And your chance of having a crack at the success of this idea depends on your ability, 5-minute window, to keep things simple enough that they are powerful. Successful video in 5 minutes is not this. Here's what we're doing. It's not about getting the information in that time frame. It's about using that time frame to get across the information. The more you talk, the less people listen. The less you talk, the more people ask questions. When people ask questions or watch video and ask questions in their mind, it's conversation, it's connection, it's curiosity, and that's how people get closed. And so today I'm going to convince you why nobody actually cares about your ideas, okay? They don't. I'm sorry. I'm also going to show you this 313 method that can help you as an exercise of whittling down the message like a little set of Russian dolls into the smallest amount possible, and that's a very difficult process. But when as a team you argue and you get to a certain spot at that core, that's it. Your ability to communicate is amazing. It might uncover some fallacies within what you're doing. It might help you lead onto another direction. It'll help you get better discovery with customers. Because if you can't explain what the idea is to a customer, how are you going to get their accurate feedback? And then finally, for the pitch, you're going to be doing a situation where you're just talking to a bunch of people and nobody is talking back. And that's where you use the 313 sandwich. Although people say that my stick figure looks more like a burger, but you'll have to decide. Do you think people care more about what you do, what your company does, or do you think they care more about the problem you solve or the problem that your company solves? How many people think that people care about the company? You care about what companies, what they do? Raise your hand. How many people think that you care more about the problem the company solves? My goodness. Then why on earth would we ask each other, what do you do? Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we say, what problem are you solving? That actually would be interesting. But culturally, what do you do? Tell me what you do. Tell me about your idea. People do not care what you do. In fact, they only care about the problem that you solve. So the next time that somebody asks you the question, what do you do? Ask me what I do. Ask me what I do. No, ask me what I do. What do you do? I actually do a lot of things. Excited about is solving one particular problem. What is the problem? You're curious? You really want to know? So if somebody asks you what you do, however you do it, be like, I got a lot of stuff going on. But there's one thing I'm really excited about. This is a problem that I'm solving. I get out of bed every morning just to solve this one problem. And then shut up, stop talking. It'll be awkward for like 3-4 seconds. They're going to be like, so what problem do you solve? And when you say, well, the problem that I solve is blank, they have no idea what you do, but they could be very interested in that problem. What if they have that problem? What if a loved one has that problem? Okay? This, if you want to take a picture of a slide, this is probably one of my favorite, and it is in its purest form. This is conversation design called permission-based pitching, and this is a way, a very ethical way, of getting people interested in your idea without telling them your idea. Okay? And what I want to have it prove is that people only care about the problem that you solve. And if you can articulate the problem that you solve, you get people interested in what you do without what you do, which is pretty cool. It draws them in. So who would like to be an example? I've done this hundreds of times, so I know exactly how this goes. Who wants to take their idea and help interested without? All right, I'll call you out over here. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, what do you do? And you say something to the extent of, it's not really what I do, it's the problem that I solve. And then don't say anything else, and I'll ask you what the problem is. So what do you do?
Well, it's not about what I do, it's about the problem I solve.
I am curious to know this problem that you're solving. What is it?
Well, I can't really tell anyone. It's under wraps right now.
Oh. Shreya, you help me out then. Pull something off the shelf. I'm going to ask you, what is it that you do? You say, it's not what I do, it's a problem that I solve. And then I'm going to ask what the problem is. And then just tell me the problem, but don't tell me what you do. Okay? So
it's not about what I do, it's the problem I solve.
What's this problem that you solve?
Planning your trips with traffic lights when you don't know what color they're going to be.
Planning your trips when you don't know.
Planning your commute to work.
Planning your commute to work. Okay? Now you're going to ask me, is that a problem?
Is that a problem?
So we're right on the problem. That's what she just said. And I'm going to say, even though you didn't describe it in the most painful way, I commute. I commute, okay? And so I'm going to say yes. I think that this is a problem. Now you're going to ask me, do I have that? Ask me. Do I have that problem? Not, I have a lot of problems, okay? But ask if I have that problem. I do. Now ask me if I'm interested at all to fix this problem sometime soon, something with a time frame on it.
Do you want to get to work faster every day?
I did answer that, but now you're putting a temporal time frame on it, right? You've got my interest. Now, are you interested in solving this anytime soon? Would you like to learn how to get a faster commute this quarter? There's a time element. That's all it is. So ask me with a time fix.
Are you looking to get to work faster in the next 2 months?
Yes. Okay, yes. Just sometime soon, right? Just doesn't have to, so sometime soon. I said yes. Say these 3 words. I'm totally interested in what this is. Like 100%. You see that? Now, what if I walked to school, or if I didn't even have that, and I said, well, first of all, if she didn't explain the problem correctly, I'd be like, that's not even a problem. And you have to define a problem that somebody thinks is a problem to get to the next spot. And then, what if I didn't have this? If I didn't have this problem? No. Do you know anybody else who commutes? Do you know if they're looking to solve that problem anytime soon? Oh, no? Well, whenever they're ready, I can help them out. Or I can help them out. So what I want to point out here, give her a round of applause. That was great. It's good under pressure. SCP. What I want to share is to get people interested, you don't have to tell them what you do. Because in fact, if she told me the solution, it was some app about traffic, I'd be like, nope, I'm good. Because I can jump to the conclusions based on what the solution is. And then after she told me the problem, and now I talk with her, if she tells me it's some sort of an app or something that I swear I was going to think of that. I thought of that one time. Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Because with traffic lights, that's such a good idea because I feel ownership in it. Okay? So I can't stress enough the importance of people not caring what you do. And you try this little flip, and now you can practice articulating the problem. I've been featured in so many publications I can't even remember. I published a book with McGraw-Hill. I've got 4 TEDx talks. I've spoken around the world. I'm putting this up not to brag, but to share that this concept I'm going to share with you today is something that I have spoken on for the last almost 10 years. And fundamentally, it's been the same thing because it continues to work. Okay? So it may feel a little awkward. This process I'm going to share with you, you can duplicate in all your businesses and what you're doing. But in this case, in every case, it stands for what delivers. By going through this process, you'll be able to explain your idea in 3 sentences, in 1 sentence, and ultimately in just 3 words, in as little as 3 words. And it's an exercise. It's the Russian doll exercise. So we're going to really focus on 3 things: the problem, the solution, the market. And this is like, okay, Ryan, this is obvious. But it's not obvious. It gets very particular. I have a podcast called The 313. Take entrepreneurs, very successful people, and put them through this process. And it's amazing to see them in the hot seat and have them not know what to say or say too much and fall into this platform, this process, which helps you to understand some of the core messaging. Because being too verbose and speaking too much is a problem that entrepreneurs have outside of college as well. They get excited and they just like, rah, 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 and investors hate that. The 313, we're going to start with the 3 sentences first. The first sentence is the problem. The first sentence is a problem. Can you state the problem that you're solving in 1 sentence without any mention of what you do? Okay, this is the test. Now, I know we're in a competitive situation, so does anybody want to practice with their idea because they feel confident in it that nobody's going to steal it? Who wants to share the problem that they're solving in 1 sentence? Shreya. You're not working on a project? Okay. Okay. How many people are here with teams? Okay. Turn to your teammate and have one person tell the other person. Don't worry, people are not listening right now. They're not trying to like your idea. Tell your partner, choose who's going to first. Be like, I'm going to go and say, this is the problem. The problem is, in 1 sentence. It's a lot more difficult than you might think because as a partner, listen for if they're saying what the solution is. You can't say the solution. So turn to your partner and in one sentence, tell them the problem you're solving. You can tell me.
The problem is that getting help from the UCI directory is too hard.
Okay.
It's too confusing.
Hard and confusing. Okay. I like it because you didn't explain what the solution is. I think that the more you could articulate the annoying or pain part, because that's kind of like a general blob. If there's something that is specific in there that we're like, ooh, yeah, that, right? Is it that you waste too much time? Is it you just don't even do it because you don't like, so there might be something there, but at its core, good. Okay, stop, switch. Other person now try. The problem is, and now explain it.
Who drew these?
I did. I hand draw all this stuff.
Someone in one of our projects class, and they had a slideshow that looked
It's
exactly.
probably me.
Alzheimer's diagnosis often happens when it's already too late.
Okay, this is true. All right, and time. All right, a lot of times people have a hard time isolating the problem. I think that you guys have done that pretty well. But how painful was the problem in which they explained it? Did it seem like it was really a problem, or if it was just like a meh problem? How many people have had a paper cut before? Paper cut? Okay. Let me demonstrate for those who haven't. Okay, yo, paper cut. So, we are live streaming too, that's okay. Oh yeah, okay, all right. Okay. How many people cut off their finger before? Do you have in the back? I happen to have a knife in my bag right here. Yeah, it's got bone wood one right here, so let me, okay. Ah, my finger! Oh, shit! Ah, my finger! Oh, blood everywhere! Ah! Blood squirting, blood. My finger, okay. Oh, looks like a ginger carrot, I don't know. What's the difference between a paper cut and a finger being chopped off? Pain, yes? I was yelling louder. Oh, my physical reaction was louder. Yeah, okay, what else? Probably more expensive. What else? Between a paper cut and a finger being chopped off is the implicit interactions in someone else's mind. If I walk up to you, I'm like, bruh, paper cut, bruh. And he's like, if I came up, I'm like, oh, my finger, like, he'd be like, help. You see somebody fall, you're like, oh, let me help you out, right? You see him trip, and you're like, ha. The reality is that if you describe the problem, traffic light, something like that, and you're like, look at this paper cut. And they're going to be like, meh, traffic lights are there to save us? Or if you're like, my bloody finger has been cut off and the bone is here, and it's like, it's so painful that it causes 13,000 deaths every single year, and the cost of it is billions of dollars. Actually has a ripple effect to the economy because of the gas and pollution, and then that raises the prices of gas, and then there's more, and it's everything's terrible, and you think it's just your commute, and it's the end of the world. Now, that's hyperbole, but I want you to take the point, right? You can say the dolphins are dying, bro. They're dying, bro. Versus like something that people would resonate with as an actual problem. And the reality is there's a lot of smart people solving a lot of smart problems all over the place. And so for you to like, oh, I'm solving this. I've heard that before. That's in existence. People are trying to work on that. Nobody's really solved it yet. Like, what's the big deal? So a huge part of your ability to communicate the idea is to share a problem in a way where people are like, oh, damn, yeah. And it might not just be that surface level problem. So I'm telling you that the videos that come across and like, cut, this is what we're trying to solve. We'd like to pass to the next level, please. If that doesn't come across, then you're not going to win. So how do you show the proverbial blood? Is it statistics? Is it data? Is it customer discovery? Is it research? There's a lot of ways you can help create blood, okay? Second is your solution. Now this is the fun, easy part. The only thing is, what is your solution? It has to actually match. And people will tell me the problem. I'm like, what's the solution? I'm like, but that doesn't solve the problem. So go to your partner and tell what the solution is. And your partner, I want you to listen. Does this, if they said that this is a terrible thing, then whatever they're doing makes it not terrible. Like there has to be some sort of a connection. Because the person who's watching it for the first time, like, here's the problem, circle, triangle, this is the solution. And you're like, that doesn't make sense, I don't get it. And you lost them. So what is your solution in one sentence? Turn to your partner and see if you can explain it. Partner, listen for if it actually solves the problem. Go. What's your solution?
Using AI to compress all of the data and make it easy to find.
Okay. So here, easy. So you're making it easy and it's difficult. And it's clear that it's AI. Is it an app? Is it a something? Is it it's an app? It's technology? So you might want to say not just like what component of AI. It's a, you might give a little bit more of the what it is. And then as you tweak the problem to be more particular, just make sure that what you're doing, if it's easy, is it really the problem that it's difficult? If it's difficult, how much time is it wasting? How much pain is it? And maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the overwhelm. And if it's overwhelm, then it could be ease. And so it's just playing with the different, yeah.
So for the problem itself, do you think it'd be better to focus in on something specific, like OIT?
Ask 50 students. Well, honestly, you can't answer that. If you ask students to find events on campus, like, can I watch you do it? What's the most frustrating part? And like, because it's not what I think, it's what they think. And you're that person, but you're only an N of one. So what is the most painful, and is it enough pain to make it worth solving? All right, time. The other person, try real quick. Now switch. Could be the same thing, but just try it again. Our solution is, other person, try it. What's your solution? Tell me. You look lonely. Yeah. Tell me your problem. Don't start with
Okay. Problem is, it's hard to quantify movement disorders in a quantifiable way.
Okay, the word hard is like kind of paper cutty because like, what do you, so I'm just saying.
It's essential to understand in a quantifiable way the movement disorder in children.
That might be a little too complex, right? But there's what I'm saying is that it's hard to is like, it's hard to recycle. It's hard to do this. Okay, what's your solution?
Use recording and train a knowledge network to understand what's the normal way of moving and understand how much.
Establishing a norm so that any deviation can be tracked earlier. But it's like establishing the norm, so like again, having that connectivity is really key. Okay, good. All right, end time. We're feeling good about this? Again, should match. What's the difference between these two words, what and how? Like in 6th grade and you had to explain to another 6th grader. What is what and what is how? What's the difference? You guys are in college. Yes, like a how. Yes? How the thing works, yes. It's like this. What is the tip of the iceberg? How is everything underneath. And you have to watch out in the video and in person when people say, what is your solution? And you go, it's an app like this, and it comes like this, and we're going to do like this, and here's going to be, and it works like this, and here's a download for $9.99. Okay? That is explaining how it works, but I didn't ask you how it works. I just asked you what it is. So when somebody asks you, what is your solution, you just tell them what it is, and then you stop. And then guess what? If they're interested at all, what do you think they're going to ask next? How does that work? And then guess what? Before I even tell you how much do you know about quantum physics? How much do you know? All right, let's start from the beginning. But what if he's like, I teach it? You're like, okay, let me cut right to the chase. Because if you're sharing information with somebody that they already know, it's a form of disrespect. And at a certain point, like if you don't realize they're rolling their eyes, you're like not picking up on those signals. So you tell people what you do, and that's why it's so nice to have a clear, simple sentence. Stop. Then if they ask you, how does that work? Well, what do you know about this field? Let me get a gauge. All right, let me explain it how it works. So this happens all the time with investors when they ask you, what's your solution? And I finally got your time, and it's just somebody called me, a student called me, and he said, can I share with you my idea? I said, yes. He talked. I watched the phone. I did some other stuff. I was doing 12 minutes without stopping talking. 12 minutes. I let him talk the whole time, and I stopped, and I was like, so can I give you a little constructive feedback? Would you like some unsolicited advice? He said, yes. I said, you just talked to me for 12 minutes about stuff that I'm very familiar with. And you could have just told me the problem, solution, who you're after, and then asked me what I thought or if I wanted to know how it works, because I know how that works. So I appreciate that, but it was just like that, and as most people won't listen to you that long. So the idea, if you can articulate what in a very high-level way, then you can explain how it works. Keep your sentences short. Like, it is okay, and even in the video, you're going to have to be short with stuff, but that's why you choose what you're going to say. The less you say, actually, the more profound you are. Okay? Now it's all about the market. Can you describe your market without using the A word or the E word? Who wants to try? Just your market alone is not going to give your business idea away. What's your target market without saying the A word or the E word? And I'll tell you if you say it. Universities. All universities? Any university? The A word is anyone, and the E word is everyone. You are not everyone. You are not for anyone. In fact, if you say you are, people are going to be like, no, you're not. There's a difference between a target market and a market potential. Please do not be the company. Please do not be the company that says, this is for all universities, and we're going to get 1/2 of 1% of the total market, and we're going to crush it. That's not how it works.
What if I say research universities? Is that still
That sounds pretty big. How many universities can you handle at the start? Right. And what would the best university be to start with? That would be a way more convincing argument. And say, my target market is UCI. That's it. Now, my market potential are other research universities, and they could go here, it could go here. So the goal is to be believable. You have to actually know who you're going after. One of my favorite questions is, how will you get your first hit? Right? Because you're thinking about thousands of them, but it's like, no, how are you going to get that first one? And then number 10. So have great specificity. Don't make it seem like it's ever, you're going to have your TAM, SAM, SOM, you know, the total addressable market. These are more like big, large numbers, but your ability to know your beachhead market, who you're going after, is crucial. And be okay to be nice and sliver in there. So there you have it. This exercise should help you understand these 3 components: your problem, your solution, and your market. Now, let's do a little math. How do you get 3 sentences down to 1? How many people know A, B, and C, this combination? How many ways can you combine it? 6, yes. I thought it was 9, and I was giving this presentation. I was like, 9. They came up to me afterwards. They're like, bro, that's 9. So what if I substitute P, S, and M for A, B, and C? Still 6, right? It's just rearranging them. So technically, if you have high and tight problem solution market, you can explain your business in 1 sentence 6 different ways. I solve this problem by doing this for these people. Another way that these people have, and here are, this is my solution for these people who have this problem. This is what I do to solve this problem for these people. These people need my solution to solve this problem. These people have this problem, and here's how I solve it. It's literally mathematics, but people don't spend the time to get their problem solution market so tight that there's no way they can do this. So again, this is just helping you really identify and pick those key points. You're not raising $1 million with this 5-minute video. You're playing to a rubric, and you are convincing people that this idea is believable. Okay? So what do you do in 1 sentence? It's literally, if anybody wants to try it, but I feel like we're all hiding our ideas, so I'm not going to have you do it, but it's literally the format. It's problem, solution, market. It would be, this is the problem that I'm solving people. And you can say it 6 different ways. Now, 3 words. This is not a tagline. This helps you to think about what you're actually doing and using metaphor and analogy. It's actually using 2 things in a relationship to each other. If I say swoosh, what do you think of? If I say golden arches, what do you think of? Like you have so much association with so many things. And if I say Uber, if I say Uber Eats, or if I say all these different things, it's called the X of Y. It's like a little puzzle that you're saying X of Y, and you're creating a metaphor or an analogy. And it might be, think if your business was a superhero. What would your superhero be?
Green Lantern.
Okay, so the Green Lantern, and then let's say what's the other side of the fence? Like what's your industry? What's your business?
Crime fighting.
Okay, no, I'm saying like your business, this business that you're doing.
Oh, AI.
You're like the Green Lantern of AI, but maybe you're like the Green Lantern of industries or something like that, right? So you take an association with one thing and match it with an association of something else. So like if your business was a car, what kind of car would it be? Would it be a BMW? Would it be a Hummer? Would it be a Porsche? Would it be a Ferrari? All of those would have different connotations with it. Is it like a certain character or fiction character? We're like the MacGyver of our industry. So you're using one and the other. It's really about connecting them with a relational term that is either of, meets, or even has a baby with. So it's more of a thought exercise to help see if you can get the essence of it. So for example, somebody asks me what I do. Sometimes I'll be like, well, think of me as like a blacksmith of branding. Blacksmith, it's very hands-on, it's high level. There's just stuff. It's not a quick fix. That for branding. You have thing 1, rational term, and thing 2. Sensei of storytelling, videographer. Referee of risk, an insurance agent. It's like a word puzzle or a word game. Instapot of podcasting. I actually have a friend who uses this. He's got a fast podcasting service. So your ability to understand your idea is your ability to help create metaphor and analogy around it. If you watch The Tiger King, she's referred to as the Mother Teresa of big cats. Now, it's not 3 words, but the idea is a relational term, and I think she still killed Ron, regardless. Here is Corona using the X of Y strategy, using their own brand as such a strong brand halo for their seltzer. It is the Corona of hard seltzers. Right? So you're able to leverage these brands, leverage these ideas to help them understand what newer ideas are. So what you do in 3 words is literally a metaphor analogy to help people, like what do you do? Well, I don't know, I'm kind of like a blender. Something. Like, let's see, maybe you're like a blender, you're almost like a George Foreman grill for your directory. Right? But it's like everything about George Foreman grill, then you kind of relate it over. So it's a way of helping you use metaphor or analogy to help make sure that you understand that idea, and in a short amount of time, it helps people understand it. 3 sentences, 1 sentence, 3 words. Problem, solution, market, in that order. So there's something that's missing here, though. And this is where we'll transition into how you structure your video. What's missing from this problem, solution, market? I talked about it in the very beginning. A little bit further than that, I shared stuff about myself, my story. Your backstory is the other key component. This is about how and why you're involved. Storytelling is your greatest asset. And when you own the story that you actually have that is involved to this, your experience or other people's stories, that's how you can really create this connection. Now, this is a 3-1-3 sandwich, although people say it looks like a burger. How many people think it looks like a sandwich? Burger? Okay, I might have to change it to the burger. So this is how I would best suggest you outlining the strategy for your video. And this is how I outline the pitch that I share with anyone. Whether it's investor, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's the same structure. You start with a story. You don't say, hi, my name is this, and this is my thing, and here's what we're... No. There I was, trying to find an event. My brain was going crazy because of all this different stuff. The story only sets up the problem. And that's when we realize this was not just our problem or my problem. This is a problem with a bloody finger cut off. Then you explain, here's the problem, here's the blood, here's the reason, here's the loss, here's all of the reasons why you should care about this. And then, after you've established that, good news is we have a solution. The solution is this, here's our magic sauce, here's our go-to-market, here's what we're going to do, here's all this stuff. But wait a minute. It's not for everybody, and it's not for anybody. Here's exactly who we're going to go after. And you know what? That story I told you in the beginning where everything went wrong, now with our product in the marketplace, everything's okay. That little person or that little girl who had broken her foot in that accident that we realized, now her little sister's not going to have that same problem. There's a few reasons why we have this as a structure. Let me share, well, actually let me get to this real quick, because part of the biggest reason is that you're going to tell a story in the beginning and then a story in the end, and people are more likely to remember things in the beginning and in the end, the law of latency and primacy and recency. And so like, they're not going to remember all the stuff in the middle, but they're going to remember that story, and that's what people remember. So this whole process that I suggest you all follow is understand the story behind your idea. It can be your personal story. It can be a fictitious story. It can be a real story. It can be a third-person story. It can be a story about your mom, your friend, your brother, your sister. It's just a story that leads to the problem. Articulate, share, prove that you know the problem. Then share the solution. It's important in this order because you don't want people to like make assumptions just on the solution. We experienced that before. Then you make sure people know it's not for everybody, and then you finish with something that's sort of a feel-good or some sort of a wrap-up. And you are going to have a rubric, which you all have access to, and this is just an example of Robert Kiyosaki's 10-20-30, right? He says 10 slides, 20 minutes max, 30-point font. This is an example. But whatever you decide to put into your pitch deck that you're using, if you're using a pitch deck for your video or some visuals, all of this will either fit in the story, fit in the problem, fit in the solution, fit in the market, or fit in the story. Like, that's it. Right? And so you can put all of the elements you need in while still following the structure. Look, rubric is about the problem being defined. Give the judges a reason in the beginning that you know that. Your innovation is around your solution. Feasibility could be solution and the market. Impact potential can be dripped in your solution, could be identified in the problem. The presentation and the quality that stands alone with your ability to present this idea and making sure that people feel that your team is capable. All of those can fit into the different elements of this pitch. And remember, people remember the beginning and the end, start and end with a story. They remember the story. And you can make this a 5-minute. You can make this a 10-minute. You can make this a 20-minute. Really, at the end of the day, you can expand and contract it. I've been involved in competitions like, oh, sorry, we got too many people. We're not doing 6 anymore. We're doing 4-minute pitches. And people are like, oh, because they memorize a 6-minute speech or a pitch. But you just talk a little bit less about the story, a little bit less, a little bit less. So it's expandable and retractable. I'm not going to have everybody try it because I know that we don't want to try it. But questions on this before we sort of close this down and then we can sort of round table. Yes? The rubric is on the website. So if you go to, actually, let me see. I believe I have, because this is an important question. So if you go to the AI Innovation Challenge, okay? So here's the AI Innovation Challenge. You scroll down, and right here, it says Rules and Judges, and you click here, and then the rubric is down here at the bottom, okay? So feed this to ChatGPT and say this is what we're going after, right? Just, you know, it's okay. All right, let me get back to this. Any other questions? Yes?
Do you have any examples of companies that sell themselves well using the framework that you showed? And I assume they do because this is like generalized.
Well, the companies that are well established are not maybe giving this 5-minute pitch in this type of a format. Right, but any type of startup that is having a pitch deck or presenting in new venture competition, all these different things, I rarely see people follow this type of a format, even if they know that it works, because they go back to their arms folded in the same way. What happens is they stand up there and the first thing they say, this is our company, and they introduce everybody, and you've already lost 15 seconds of attention. And then a lot of times they'll start with maybe a problem or a story, but then they just start throwing all this stuff at you, and then you're not really sure, and then it kind of gets convoluted, and then the story's somewhere, but it's not there. I have been trying to preach this from the rooftops as a structure because people can follow the structure and you make your presentation your own. But when you start with a story It helps to humanize you. It helps to make you not a threat. Like if you just go straight talking right to the brain, like here's a data and digits and algorithm, people are like it was about how to not be chased by a bear. Because if you just if you're a threat to somebody, then they'll actually shut down and they're not going to actually listen to you. So I feel like this is a strategy people should use more. Use competition winners that have a format which starts and ends with a story. It's an open and closed loop, shares the problem beforehand, the solution, and the market.
Can you point to some of those students?
Yes, and I believe we have some videos from the Sustainability Challenge that we're going to be sharing with everybody to show as examples. Okay? And stories come in many formats, but this is a structure which makes sure that you hit all these checks in the boxes. Good question. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'll ask it. So I had a question about the top bun of the hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
So, like with the story that you started with, it was like about how you grew up, right? And so, giving the presentation, that's easy. But in a team full of multiple people, how do you create like that personalized story, but 6 different people talking about it?
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be the 6 different people. One story represents how to discover the problem. And it could be a friend of yours or something that happened to a loved one. It's about sharing a story where something happened, where something went wrong. And storytelling is a great way of just getting people engaged. And then really when you can tie that story to help people see themselves in that story and there's a problem, it's an easier lead-in into what you're talking about. Now don't go telling a 2 or 3 and all of a sudden now you have no time for the other meat and potatoes. It can be established very quickly, right? But it's having a soft start with a story, uncovering the problem, talking about your solution, making sure you hit your market, and then ending with some sort of a resolution or story. I feel and I have found that that is what usually makes your pitch more translatable and more digestible. Okay? Yes?
So for the story at the end, since normally we talked about the solution, happy ending story, like there's someone like get in real life, so we just imagine it.
You can say, so great question. The question is, for the happy ending story, how do you tell a happy ending story if you're a startup and you haven't really had that as a result? That's what your result wants to be. So if the story initially is about how you're standing out in the rain and you got drenched and your shirt got ruined and it was a matter of being quick enough and things like that, at the end you get stuck in the rain and that happens, they now will have a different person's younger brother. For the next class here at UCI, that won't be the case. Or for that person's daughter, it won't be the case. If it's a medical device, it has a longer leg to it. But some sort of a happy feel is the impact that you have out there. Art form, influence is an art form. And I'm curious, knowing what you knew before and now you know what you know now as far as a structure, that you have the experience already, that you don't have to have the expertise, that you have stories, that you know there's problems, that you have solutions, and you can narrow down the market to that one market to make it believable. On a scale of 0 to 10, say out loud and proud, how are you now on that scale? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we went from 4 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. So excellent work. Give applause for sticking with it. And just for fun, so I can wrap this up, I will do so. And feel free, if you feel the beat and you're somewhat musically inclined, you can help me out with a little rap clap. I can teach you how to pitch. You could get funding, could get rich. All you have to do is follow 3 rules like they're treasure clues. There we go. First rule is I don't care what you do because I've got problems and so do you. You won't get me interested in explaining minor pain. You gotta solve a problem in the. Rule number 2, you talk too much like a giddy little kid on a yellow school bus. Start with the what, not with the how. Rule number 3, create intrigue. Talk about your target market to the nth degree. Tap into the FOMO of the person who is listening. Say anyone or everyone and you of your pitch. More, don't miss opportunity, knocking at the door. First you state the problem, then you say you solve it. Don't forget the market. So I'm excited for you because this is exciting. And look, the goal is for you to take a crack at the video. Gosh, ChatGPT could probably help you write a pretty compelling script. You could probably say, we need to have a story. We need to share our problem. We need to do this. We need to do that, right? Now, everybody got a PTAR sticker there and right there, okay? But it's a PTAR. How many people have tried, or how many people have this other sticker? No? Okay. Will you help pass this out to everybody real quick? Just, hit a couple down the row. I'm going to pass this out to you, and I want to share this with you because this is going to be crazy and blow your mind. We have a technology sponsor, Go Zigzag. It is powered by GPT, and what it does is just off of a simple prompt, and this is free for you as a UCI student because they're sponsoring this. You sign up with your Gmail. Just on a prompt, it will actually do quite a few things. What we're going to do here is an idea. So we're going to start with a problem. Who wants to come up with some sort of a problem to solve? What's a problem that we want to solve real quick? Say again? Hygiene class? Finding classes. Okay, so go. I was like, hygiene? Is that bad? That is, you like hygiene? Yeah. I've been in a room with people stink and I'm like, but deodorant. Anyways, so check this out. Give us an idea then. Do we want to do the classes or do we want to do the hygiene? Okay, so how about a company that will address the common problem on college campuses that tells you where the clean bathrooms are and helps to address the overall stink of college students. Is that offensive or was that funny? Okay, because you guys, we're all a little stinky, okay? So check this out. What it's doing right now, you all have access to this, is it's generating the business model canvas that I had talked about. It is generating critical hypothesis. It is generating your mission, vision, value, goals. It's generating an elevator pitch. It's calculating your market. It's giving you chances of feasibility and desirability. It actually will help create a web page for you. It comes up with name ideas. It's all the stuff that it would take you like 2 to 3 weeks to really legitimately figure out and come on your own. The time that it saves is crazy, but that gives you more time to build, to talk with people, to get out and actually engage with customers. Let's see, lean canvas is complete. Here we are. The real-time, let's see, unique proposition. Real-time accessible data about the cleanest bathrooms on campus, improving student experience, and promoting hygiene. Customer segments, tech-savvy students, students living on campus, staff members, channels, mobile apps, online presence. Here, chirp, 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 chirp. Let's see what else here. Validation, critical hypothesis, identifies and prioritizes fundamental assumptions underpinning this and that. Desirability, high, high, medium, medium, feasibility, medium and high. It's generating customer interview questions. It's creating the mission, vision, value, goals, elevator pitch. This is cool. So you have so much information and so much opportunity to say like, here's our idea. Go back, change the prompt a little bit, see what it is, something here, figure it out. Use another platform to ask about how to structure this into a story. What's an example? What's an analogy? ChatGPT is great about giving analogies and examples, so your story could be an analogy. And then you have your problem, your solution, and your market, and it's out there. So this is an exciting time because we have more time than ever in a time where we think we have no time. And so this is an AI innovation challenge. This is not cheating. This is really cool. And we are here to help support along the process. So when you get your script down, meet with us, talk to somebody. Right? This doesn't have to be a November 25th, nobody's looked at this, we haven't edited it. We have video cameras. If you need access to things, we try to help figure it out. We've got a number of cameras. You can film this on your cell phone. All right? So I just want you to know that whether or not you convince somebody in the 5 minute that goes on, the exercise doesn't change. Because you're going to still need to be able to communicate what you're doing, whether it's this business, the next business, or the business after that. All right? You guys feel a little better now? Yes. Remember, the pressure is not there because you have a structure, you have resources. Just try, figure it out, act it out, talk it out, use AI. And if you need any AI-generated images, we have an account with Midjourney, and you can book an appointment with one of us, and we can teach you how to use it, and you can get some images and stuff. All right? I'm still trying to get Microsoft to give you all pro access, okay? And I'm still trying to get them to give us credits with OpenAI. And I'm making these little videos, and I'm compiling them and sending them to them. So maybe I'll make a little video here. We can all say hi to Microsoft. Now, would you all want GPT-4? Would you guys want OpenAI credits to be able to play with stuff? Okay. Do it before it's too late. Ahoy, Microsoft. Everybody say hello to Microsoft. Hello, Microsoft. Well, as a technology sponsor, we're so excited, and I know that you're all considering, but how excited will you keep asking us to have Pro GPT-4 for everyone? And then they always talk about the credits, or I guess what are they called? The tokens. The tokens on OpenAI. Could you all use some tokens to play? Yeah. Well, assuming that people who see this have the ability to make the decision, look at all these amazing students here at the AI Innovation Challenge, and we're excited, so let's give a little zot, zot, zot for Microsoft Soft Soft. On the count of 3, zot, zot, zot for Microsoft Soft Soft. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Zot, zot, zot. Yeah! This will make for a good video, and if we get enough, imagine. You never know. I'm creating a story. I'm sharing the problem. Solution's easy. Give it to us. Our market are these people here. And guess what? If you do that, the world's going to be a better place. All right? Pitching comes in many forms. It's just influence. Help people change the way they think about directories. Help people change the way they think about medical conditions. Help the way people think about movements at an early age. And then give them a chance to take action. It's your company. It's them moving you to the next round. It's them giving you the high marks on the rubric. All right, we got more Panda Panda outside. Let's do this. Teams are due today. Did you find a team? Yes! Give a round of applause and made it to the team. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Make sure you ask anything on Discord. We're here to help. November 17th, bring your team here. All the mentors are going to come here, and you'll be able to meet them. Then you'll be able to meet with them, and then November 26th is going in. Boom. Take all home food left. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
What did you use to make the slide?
Procreate. Yes, Procreate.